Welcome back, everybody. So this little fella right here has to be some of the most fun I've had on the range in a very long time, especially when you run it with a can, because this is a 22 LR. Specifically, this is the Bergara B14R carbon version in 22 LR. What is the Bergara B14R carbon in the 22 LR, and what is that scope on there? So that is the Rydon X5 5-25 by 50 in a mil radiant. And I have to say that Rydon has really stepped up their game when it comes to their glass, and I'm going to be giving that its own review in another video. All right, let's start running down the specs on this Bergara B14R so you know exactly what this thing is all about. So this version is the 22 LR, but as of 2021, we're now in 2022, they offer this not only in a 17 HMR, but they also offer it in a 22 WMR. Now this is going to be a specific Bergara 22 LR action, but the entire system is based off the Remington 700. Now that's going to be very important, especially when it comes to triggers and what this thing is compatible with. The barrel on this is 18 inches in length. It's going to have a 1 in 16 twist in it, a number 6 taper, and obviously it is carbon fiber finished. It's going to have a threaded muzzle on there in 1/28 with a thread protector from the factory, so you can thread on whatever suppressor you have right now and get to work out there super quiet. The overall weight of the B14R in the carbon fiber version is going to be 8.1 pounds. It's going to have a 38-inch overall length with the included spacers for that length of pull, an AICS magazine with a 10-round capacity, and standard scope mount screw sets in 6x48 for that Remington 700 compatible mount. This is going to come with that beautiful Bergara HMR style stock, which has a mini integrated chassis in it to ensure proper bedding and that this thing is going to be super accurate and repeatable when bedding a fully free floated barrel. It's going to have an adjustable cheek comb and an adjustable length of pull with those spacers that are provided. Now, even though this is considered a training rifle, it's just a lot of fun, and you can really practice all of the fundamentals with this out on the range. And as most of you probably already know, training with 22 LR ammo like Eley or SK or Norma or even some higher end ones, you're going to spend like a fifth or even less than what you would out there on the range, even with basic cheap ball 6.5 Creedmoor or especially 6.5 PRC. And for all of my wrong-handed or my left-handed people out there, they make this in a left-handed action as well, so everybody gets to play when it comes to the B14R. The entire action is based off that Remington 700 from the trigger to the mount to the safety. So this is going to be extremely natural and normal. The bolt design is going to be free floating, and it's going to have a non-rotating gas shield. Everything else in here, including the fire indicator and the safety, is going to be exactly what you would see on a standard Remington 700. Now out on the range, I have to say this thing is absolutely a blast. And this HMR stock that they put on here has a really solid feel, yet has a almost soft and grippy tactile feel to it. It's got texture in all the right places, and it absorbs that recoil in a very solid fashion. So no weird kind of vibration or looseness. It just feels very solid overall. And I know it's a 22 in this one, but my friend has the 6.5 Creedmoor version, and after firing that one, it feels just as solid as this. The adjustable comb on there is going to give you plenty of movement for your optic heights or people with different head sizes, whether you are setting this up for yourself or you are adjusting this thing on the fly so one of your kids can use it out there on the range. The action on this specific Bergara is a little bit different since it's obviously a rimfire design, so it has a little bit of a different feeling as compared to its bigger brothers that use the true Remington 700 style pattern and have that ultra smooth engagement. This one's gonna be a slight amount different, but still very smooth and locks in exactly as you would expect. It ran flawlessly for me out on the range. I ran several different types of SK, Eley ammunition, Norma, and a few others that my buddy had in a bulk bag out there. I didn't have any failures to feed, no failures to extract, and I'll have to say the accuracy between all of those different ammunitions was pretty good, especially that nicer stuff. It was very good, and there was very little deviation from when we ran the suppressor on it to when we did not have the suppressor with those nicer ammunitions. Moving into that trigger, because that is a huge component when it comes to any 700 style action here. The factory trigger on this is actually quite nice, and it is adjustable. So for my people out there that may be slightly a little bit of a trigger snob, myself included, you can adjust this a little bit out there to suit your needs. Now, if you want to go full custom, again, Remington 700 style trigger is gonna drop right in. And I know personally, I've got a couple of Timneys in. I have the Elite Hunter and the Hit, and I cannot wait to try both of those triggers in here just to see how they feel. In all the couple of trips I've had the B14R out on the range, I went through a few hundred rounds, both suppressed and unsuppressed. After initial 0, I was able to put well over 100 rounds through about a quarter-sized hole, both suppressed and unsuppressed. And again, it was just a ton of fun. And I don't think you're gonna be able to shoot that much when it comes to your 308, 6.5, or any variation like that and not have to take a loan out to afford your days on the range. The overall build quality on the B14R Carbon is outstanding. And it's everything I would have expected from Bergara, having shot their rifles before, but this is the first one I have ever personally owned, and I didn't know that I needed it or wanted it as much as I actually do now. And having fired my friends in 6.5 Creedmoor, I think I'm gonna be looking into the 6.5 PRC for my personal collection. So besides this thing just being dead sexy with that black stock in a splatter pattern right there, and finished off with that carbon fiber barrel, it turned out to be exactly what I needed. I just didn't know it. So I get to improve my skills, practice my skills, and have a little bit of fun, maybe using those know your limits targets or something, and just kind of have a good time, relax, and decompress on the cheap. Even buying really good ammo, it's not gonna break the bank. All right, so we know the specs, we know it's a ton of fun, and we know it's a dead sexy rifle. Let's talk about what this thing is going to cost us. So this specific version with the carbon fiber barrel is gonna be obviously a premium line. It's gonna be a little bit more expensive by about $100. So that one specifically is gonna be $1139, I think is what I saw it for. And then if you want the standard steel barrel, you just drop $100 off that. So coming in at $1,039. Now I know you can get 22 LRs a lot cheaper than out there, but you're probably not going to be getting the full package that you get with this Bergara. And this is one thing that kind of pays for itself over time, because again, you're gonna be spending a fifth or a sixth or an eighth or a tenth on ammo as compared to 308, 6.5, PRC, Creedmoor, whatever you're running out there. You're gonna be able to spend a little bit more time out there, have a little bit more fun, maybe have some friends or your kids or some family members try things out for the first time, and not have to take a loan against your house to pay for it all. That is what I have for you all today. Make sure you sub up so you can come back for the review on the Rydon X5 right there, because it really is a very solid optic, especially for the price point. They've got some nice glass going on there. And I'm really curious to know what's your experience with Bergara or your thoughts on them as a whole, because the more people I talk to, seems to be they are a rifle of choice for both people that want to do a little bit of long range, but in the hunting world, and especially for this new trainer. So sub up down below, leave me a comment on that stuff. Get out on the range, have some fun. Remember, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. I will see you all on the next one.